Hello, my name is Matthew Tannehill, and this is my group's grocery list application. This is an application intended for individuals using the Android platform to be able to easily create a grocery list using an intuitive graphical interface. The idea is for the user to select some meals that they are interested in through a browser that will pull the meal recipes from the internet. Then the application will generate a grocery list of all the needed ingredients for their chosen meals. This is Group Bazinga with Xavier Gagnon, Core Specialist Developer in charge of Research and Coding, Jaime Matos, Core Specialist Developer in charge of Research and Coding, Gustavo Maturana, Graphic Design Lead in charge of External Design, Sean Seltzer, Development Lead in charge of Internal Design, Matthew Tannehill, Project Manager in charge of Scheduling, Assigning Tasks, and Meetings. And now here's Jaime with our problem statement.
The problem statement. The problem we're trying to solve is the dilemma of a user searching out for ingredients for a recipe, keeping track of those ingredients and which ones have been purchased and which ones are in your pantry or not in your pantry. This app will allow you to save your recipes for future reference, add items to your shopping list, and cross off items that you have already purchased, including ingredients in a recipe, so that you know which ones are missing from your pantry and which ones are not. So when you go to the grocery store, you'll know exactly which items or ingredients are missing or not, as long as you keep track of them on the app in the phone. The project justification, or in other words, the reason why we think this app is needed is because there are other apps that exist out there that do similar functions. However, this app will be created in such a way that it will become the easiest out of all the other apps available in terms of simplicity for adding recipes, keeping track of them, and keeping track of which ingredients you have and don't have, so that you know exactly which ones to buy at the grocery store. There are some other apps out there that are really nice and interesting, but this one will be more to the point, more easier to keep track of simple ingredients and recipes, without all of the fluff, bells and whistles that other apps might have.
Hi, I'm Xavier Gagnon, and I'm going to be talking about the scope and the schedule of the project. The grocery list application will allow users to easily find new recipes in a large online database, save and view favorite recipes again, create a grocery list from ingredients within the recipes, add any other desired ingredients to a grocery list, create multiple grocery lists which are stored on the device for editing or viewing at any time, and find the nearest grocery stores using Google Maps to pinpoint their locations. The grocery list application will not, at this point, give users any grocery store's up-to-date inventory or pricing, or rely on any other applications or features other than the Google Play services. And here we have the schedule for the entire project. And following me now will be Sean Seltzer with the functional requirements of the project.
Hello, I'm Sean Seltzer, and I will be discussing the functional requirements for the application. To start off, we'll be running on the Android platform, and we'll be compatible with Android 2.2 and higher, so we can reach the largest audience possible. In addition, we'll be using 3 APIs from the internet, including Yumly for recipe data, and Google Maps and Google Places with the phone's GPS data, so we can locate the user in nearby stores. Our first API is Yumly. Yumly is an aggregator that will go out to multiple recipe sites across the internet and consolidate all of their information into one API that we can have our users search against. So anything a user can want, they have one place to go to. In addition, we'll have Google Maps and Google Places integration. We'll be displaying a Google Map just like any other application, and we can query Google Places for nearby stores and add them as pins onto the Google Map. Next, we'll go over the general layout of the application, and then we'll describe each screen in more detail. We have a splash screen, home screen, map screen, grocery list screen where you can create and edit grocery lists, recipe book screen where you can view your favorites, search screen, item screen, and a view recipe screen where you can view more details about the recipes. We have an about screen to just give general details about the application. The main screen of the application is the home screen. On here we'll display a list of all of your saved grocery lists. You can add a new list, or you can click each grocery list to bring you to the grocery list screen where you can edit your grocery list and add some of your favorite recipes. Also from the home screen, there's a recipe button where you can directly access the recipe book screen to view your favorites or add new favorites from the Yummly API. In addition, we'll have a Maps button, which will take you to the Maps screen, where you can view your location and search for nearby stores. To use Google Maps, we'll go out and create an account with Google and sign up for an API key with Google Maps and Google Places. Then we can import the Google Places Services library and get a map view object which will display our Google map. Now we can use the phone's GPS data to find out where the user is and send that to the Google Maps so we can display a map of their location. In addition, we can make a call to Google Places with your GPS location to search for nearby stores. This is done with an HTTP call, which will return a JSON response that we can parse to find all the nearby stores. From there, we can pin each one to the map, and the user can view their location with all the nearby stores. The purpose of the application really is so you can create grocery lists by recipes instead of creating lists of items. So from the grocery list screen, will allow users to access their recipe book and start picking out some of their favorite recipes, and we'll aggregate all of those items into one consolidated list. If they are shopping and they happen to pick up an item, they can hit a checkbox next to one of these items to add a strike-through. They can add custom items or delete items. So when you click the Add Item button from the grocery list screen, we'll just give you a blank form that you can fill in a name and a quantity. We really don't want to limit you to anything that we feel is a predefined item, so you can really add anything that you want to. It's just an individual item for your list. The recipe book screen may be accessed from the home screen or from one of your individual grocery lists. From here you can view a list of all of your favorited recipes, or alternately you can click the Add Recipe button, which will take you to the search screen. Each recipe in your favorite recipes list may also be clicked to go to the View Recipe screen, so you can see a picture and a little bit more information about each recipe. The recipe search screen is the main access point to the Yummly API. From here we'll give you a search bar, so you can search for any criteria, or a drop-down list of predefined items so you can browse categories. When you perform a search, a query is made against the Yummly API through an HTTP request, and a JSON response is returned with a list of all of the recipes. From here, we'll parse each recipe and put them into a list where you can view each one, and next to each one, we'll have a favorite button so you can add it to your recipe book. The View Recipe screen will allow a user to get more details about a recipe, so they can see preparation instructions, cook time, or whatever else Yummly happens to return to us. In addition, if it includes a image URL, we'll go out and query the image and display it with all the other information. So next we'll hand it off to Gustavo to show us how all of these screens look.
Hi everyone, my name is Gustavo Maturana, and I'll be giving you an overview of the general design of the application grocery list. The basic look of the application is based on the Team Hover Lite. The orientation of the application will be portrait mode. Also, the application will be compatible with any phone screen size. On the next screen, I'm showing you a main screen layout of the application. On top of the screen, you will see an action bar. This action bar contains an overflow menu button that when it's pressed, it will show you two menu items, the store search and the about. We also have the main title of the application, and we have an application icon picture. Also, in the main screen will show a list view containing a text that is the name of the specific grocery list the user has created. Also, we find in front of the grocery list a checkbox. On the bottom of the screen, we will see the buttons with icons and their respective tests. On the next screen, this is a general layout screen. Okay. We still have the action bar, however, with a few changes. Okay. As we can see now, we have a search icon. We also have the main title. However, right below the main title, we have a subtitle that will tell the user in what page is the user located at the present time. Also, we see that the image icon of the application has turned now into the app home button, that when the user presses it will take it back to the home page. We also see a custom list view, which consists of the recipe image, the recipe title, and the name of the person that posted that specific recipe. The next screen shows you how searches will be done in the application. Okay, the searches will be done the following way: by pressing the search icon button. After pressing the button, the search text box will appear, and the standard Android keyboard will appear on the screen, so the user can type any keyword he or she desires to search. On the next screen, we can see how buttons behave when they're pressed. Okay, all the buttons, when they're pressed, they're gonna change color or state. So, as you can see in the image, when the user presses a button, the button is supposed to change color. Also, when the user presses a list, the list view item is supposed to change color momentarily. Also, when the user is done with the list, have fulfilled one of the list, he comes and checks one of the checkboxes in front of that specific grocery list. So, and a line will be marked right across the name of the list. The next page shows the map view. Okay, there are two ways the customer can access the map view. The map view could be accessed from the home page by pressing the store search button, or by clicking the overflow button and clicking on the store search menu item. These two ways the user will be able to access the search view. On this slide, the view recipe slide, okay, we can see in the screen, we still see the action bar with the overflow button, the search button, the main title of the application, and right below the main title application, we can see the name of the recipe, and also the app home button on the action bar. In the main layout, we also see the recipe image, and we have a scroll view, since the customer will have to slide up or down in order to see the ingredients and the preparation of the recipe. And now I'll leave you with Matthew, and he will talk about the conclusion of our presentation. Thank you.
Some of our conclusions were that during our research, we found other products similar to what we were trying to create that seemed to be doing everything wrong. For example, we researched one called Big Oven. This is a very large app for the phone that had a lot of functionality to it, but its problem was it was overly complex and hard to use. Another app that we researched was Grocery IQ. This one was recommended by several food and recipe websites. This one had the very basic of functionality. It was basically a list program, and it lacked a lot of the features that the other applications had. So when we decided to create this, we were really excited to bring together all the features of the larger, more complex apps, but put them into a simple and easy to use application. By using the APIs to handle part of the functionality, we had found that we were able to focus on just the main design goals that we wanted to basically show the user. Our beta grocery list app has a minimal functionality, but still it far exceeded what we thought we could get finished in this term. This project is well within the scope of the class, and the group plans to continue developing this application in the second term.